Latino community is one of the fastest growing in Southeast Michigan. As more immigrants relocate here to Metro Detroit, they need to know how to navigate through language and cultural barriers.
So in tonight's Detroit 2020 report, we take a look at one of the state's largest ethnic newspapers that's part of the new Michigan media.
Carolyn Clifford is here with more on how the paper is bridging the divide. Carolyn?
Joanne and Diana, when English is your second language and you feel discriminated against because you're different, how do you feel welcome? Well, in the Latino community, one man is making huge inroads by teaching others what he had to learn the hard way. You may have heard people say newspapers are dying a slow death. Well, Elias Gutierrez is not buying that line.
Good morning, Latino Press. How can I help you?
He's the publisher of the Latino Press, a Spanish newspaper with a weekly circulation of 20,000 and more than 80,000 readers. The most read Hispanic newspaper in Michigan. And it's growing. Why did you think the community needed something like this?
The community needed the connection between the information in English to Spanish.
Elias, who's been called one of the most influential leaders in the Hispanic community, came to America from Chile in 1991 at the age of 38 in search of the American dream. This American flag is a sacred treasure. When Elias arrived in the U.S., he couldn't speak English. That means simple things like getting a license, medical care, or immigration laws were foreign. So Elias did landscaping by day and started a free community newspaper, all written in Spanish, so people in his community would understand what was going on in their neighborhoods. Then in 1997, he ditched his day job and became a full-time publisher, all self-taught. Elias purchased this building here at the corner of Michigan and Livernois 4.5 years ago. Before that, he was publishing the entire paper in the basement of his home with the help of his 2 young daughters. Today, Elias not only publishes the Latino Press, he also publishes magazines and this directory. All are free publications paid for by advertising dollars.
We printed this as free.
Elias is part of the new Michigan media, a network of ethnic and minority media. The board is made up of the publishers of the 5 largest ethnic newspapers in Michigan, with a combined readership of more than 400,000. The Arab American News, the Michigan Chronicle, the Jewish News, the Michigan Korean Weekly, and the Latino Press.
The Arab American News is in the Dearborn area.
Dr. Haig Oshigan is the director of NMM and a professor at Wayne State University. He came here to America from Lebanon as a refugee.
The Latino community, the Jewish community, the Arab community, the Korean, and so on, are not always visible, except in the worst case, crime story of some sort. Whereas a great deal happens in those communities, and a lot of good stories happen as well.
Dr. Oshigan sees new Michigan media as a way to bridge the gap between different cultures.
This was a way of finding connections and writing stories about one another and cross-publishing editorials so that different communities would get to know about one another as well.
And Elias is leading the charge, one story at a time. It was wonderful being with both those gentlemen yesterday. We're pleased to announce, too, that Detroit 2020 is launching a partnership with New Michigan Media. You can go to our website, Detroit2020.com, to find a link to the New Michigan Media. We'll be highlighting stories of interest to the ethnic communities of our area. Joanne, Diana?
Yeah, great to hear, Carolyn. Thank you very much.